Very good morning. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So, how are you today? Okay, I hope you are in a good condition after you have a long holidays. Alright. So, we have to move on. If you still remember, the last topic that I stopped before we have our MCU period was the selection topic or if-else statement, right? So today I'm going to continue our lecture with a new topic, which is repetition or looping. So before we go into detail about this repetition or looping, can you just imagine in your real daily life, right? Your real daily life, sometimes you come across with the situation that need you to repeat several times of task, okay, in order to get the output or in order to solve the problem. Okay, for instance, for example, you want to shampoo your hair, okay, you want to get your hair clean, right? So when you shampoo your hair, okay, you have to rinse your hair several times, right? You have to rinse and then rinse until you get your hair clean, okay? Then you stop. So in this case, you use the concept of repetition or looping. You repeat until you get the output, until you get your hair clean. So you stop, right? So that is the concept of repetition. In C++, okay, we have several statements, okay, that you can use, okay, in order to solve your repetition problem in your programming. Okay, before we go into detail about that statement, okay, I want to show you the example here first. Okay, we look at the example here first, and then we move to the statement that we have in repetition, right? So for example here, we have the first example here. If you want to see out the word oopsie only once on the screen, okay, now how are you going to code the program? So this is the simple example, okay. You have to use your cout statement here, okay. We have the cout oopsie, okay, and then this is the simple example. You save the program, you use the jgrad and save the program, compile and run the program, then you get the output oopsie on the screen. Okay, so that is only one oopsie on the screen. Okay, now let's say you want to get your oopsie, okay, your word of oopsie 3 times on the screen. Meaning here you want to repeat the oopsie 3 times on the screen. So in this case, you have to use how many times the cout statement? Yeah, you have to use 3 times of cout statement in order to get 3 times of word oopsie on the screen. Okay, so let's say you want to get the output of oopsie on the screen uh, 100 times. Okay, we have 100 times of OC on the screen. So how many cout you have to use in your programming? Okay, so make for sure you have to use the cout 100 times, right? So in order to get the 100 words of OC on the screen, okay, so you have to use the 100 times of cout, right? So in this case, you will see in this case, right, you waste your time. You have to write a long programming. Your program is become longer, right? You have see out and then see out until 100 of times. So if you use the statement in C++, okay, we can shorten our program. We can simplify our program, right? So in C++, what we have, okay, what statement that we have in C++? First, we have the while statement, and then the second one we have the for statement, and then do while statement. Okay, so all these statement, okay, we have to use in order to get our program looping or repeat several of times. Okay, so this is our statement. So before you use this statement, okay, you have to know 3 main rules in writing a repetition. Okay, these 3 main rules you have to remember and you have to know. Okay, the first one, what is the first rule? Okay, you have to know what is your initial value of your control variable. Okay, so what is the meaning of control variable? Sometimes we just write CV. Control variable is the variable that control your program. How many times you want your program looping. So that is control variable. So the initial value, meaning the first value you assign to your CV. That is the initial value. Okay. So this is the first rule. And the second rule, you have to know the condition and you have to know the increment or decrement. So we have three main rules in order to use our repetition statement in our program. So this rule you have to know, you have to master, and you have to remember, right? Okay. Okay, now we are going to see the statement, each statement that I've explained just now into detail. We have the while statement, for statement, and then we have the do while statement. Okay, we go to the first statement. Okay, while statement. We see the syntax first. Okay, how the syntax of while statement. Then we move to the example how to use the while statement. Okay, now this is the syntax of while statement. You have to know the initial value of CV. Okay, put the initial value of CV and then semicolon. Then you have to write while in bracket condition, close bracket. Then you have the open brace and then you have the close brace at the end here. Between open and close brace here, so this is your statement. How many statement you have here? Statement 1, statement 2. Okay, so this is up to you. Then before you close your your close braces here, before you close the braces at the end here, okay, you have the increment semicolon. So in this case, meaning here, okay, if you see, you have the initial value of CV, then you have the condition, and then you have the increment. I've used the yellow color to highlight the rules here, the main rules that you have to know. You have to remember initial value, condition, and then the increment. So this is the syntax of while statement, right? Okay, now we move to the example of using the while statement here. Okay, if you use the jgrad, okay, for sure you have to include, you have to put hashtag first, include iostream.h. Okay, so I'm not going to explain what is the meaning of this include. Okay, sure you have known already. Okay, then you have the void main, open brace, and then you have the close brace at the end here. Okay, now between open and close brace you can write anything here. So we are going to see what we have in this between open and close brace. Okay, so if you see here, we have the integer counter equal to 1 and then semicolon. Integer counter equal to 1 and then we have the semicolon here. Okay, so if you compare to the syntax, counter is our CV or our control variable. And then the counter, what is the data type of our counter? Integer. Then you assign 1 equal to counter, meaning here your CV equal to 1. Your initial value of CV equal to 1. So counter is your CV and 1 is your initial value. How to read? Counter equal to 1 and counter, the data type of counter is integer. Okay, so I put here in the comment, okay, CV counter and the initial value equal to 1. So this is our comment. Okay, after that, you have to use the word while, and then open bracket, close bracket, counter less than 4. Counter is our control variable, and then we want to check either this counter less than 4. Okay, is it true? Okay, so if is it true the counter less than 4? Okay, if it's true, okay, counter equal to 1, yes, it's less than 4. So we move to the statement inside this open and close bracket of while. So what you have in open and close bracket here, you have cout, UPSI, and line. Okay, so meaning here you will have the word UPSI once on the screen, right? Cout C once on the screen. Meaning you have the word C on the screen. Okay, and then you have the counter plus plus. Okay, your control variable just now is counter. So now we increase by 1, meaning counter equal to counter plus 1. Now, if you see just now, what is the value of our counter? 1. So counter plus 1, meaning 1 plus 1 is 2. So we check, okay, is it counter 2 less than 4? Yes. Okay, it's true. So we will go to the looping again. Okay, C out of C. So you will have the second word of C on the screen. Okay, after that, counter plus plus. Just now we have counter 2. Okay, so 2 plus 1 become 3. So we will check again. Is it 3 less than 4? Yes, it's correct. So we will go into the looping again. So C out of C. So you will get the third of C on the screen. Okay, then counter plus 1. Just now we have 3. 3 plus 1 is 4. So we check again. Is it counter less than 4? You have 4 just now. 4, is it true less than 4? Is not correct. So when the condition is not correct, is not true, okay, we will exit from this looping. So we don't perform this looping anymore. So we exit from this looping. So meaning when you run this program, you will get 3 times of C on the screen. Just 3 times of C on the screen because we start from 1 until less than 4. So this is the example how to use the while statement uh, to produce the output of C 3 times on the screen. Okay, if you want to okay, now we move to the another statement. We have the for statement here. Okay, you can use for statement in order to replace while statement. Okay, when you use for statement, our program becomes shortened or becomes simplified. Okay, we simplify our program. Okay, see the syntax here. For initial value of CV, semicolon, condition, semicolon, then increment. You you take the initial value of CV, condition, and increment from the while statement, then you put all these statements between open and close brace when you use for statement. Okay, so for initial value of CV, condition, and increment, close bracket, not brace bracket, okay, then you open brace, close brace. So between open and close brace here, you can perform the statement. Statement 1, statement 2, you can perform. Okay, so let's see the example. We have the include outstream.h, okay, we have the void main. Now this is the open brace forward main, and then this is a close brace forward main. Okay, now we want to use the for statement. For integer counter equal to 1, you take whatever you have in the while, the integer counter equal to 1, semicolon, counter less than 4, semicolon, and then counter plus plus. What you want to see out from this program, you want to see out the C on the screen. How many times? 3 times. Okay, so C out, C, and 9. Okay, how to read this program? For integer equal to 1, okay, we check. Is it 1 less than 4? Yes. So it's true. 1 less than 4, you want to see out C. So you get the first C on the screen. Then counter plus plus. 1 just now you have the equal to 1. 1 plus 1, 2. Now you check. Is it 2 less than 4? Yes. So C out C. And then 2 plus 1 become 3. You check again. 3 less than 4? Yes. So you see out C. So you have 3 words of C on the screen now. Okay. So after that, 3 plus 1, counter plus plus, 3 plus 1 become 4. You check again, is it 4 less than 4? It's not true, right? So when it's not true, we exit from this looping. We don't perform this looping anymore. So you get how many oopsie on the screen? 3 times of word oopsie on the screen. Okay. Okay, now we move to the third statement that we can use in doing our looping in C++. We have the third statement, do while. Do while here. Okay, so this is the syntax of do while statement. We have the initial value of CV, semicolon. Then you have the word do, open brace, then close brace at the end here. Okay, between open and close brace here, you have the statement that you want to perform. You have the statement 1, statement 2, increment. Then you close the brace, you have the word while in bracket, condition, and then semicolon. So you have this is the 3 main rules that you have to know. Okay, you have to remember just now. Okay, initial value, increment, and condition. So now let's see the example how to use the do while statement. Okay, in our program. Let's say you want to produce the output of OC on the screen 3 times, similar to what you have just now. Okay, so you have the include IO stream. Okay, you have known already. Okay, void main, open brace, close brace here. Then you have the integer counter equal to 1. This is the initial value of our CV. CV is counter is our CV, so initial value of counter equal to 1. After that, you have the word do, and then you have to use the open brace, close brace. Okay, now we have the word see out oopsie and line semicolon, meaning here you want to see out the word oopsie on the screen. See out oopsie and line semicolon, counter plus plus. Let's say the counter, the initial value of counter is 1, so now counter become 2. Okay, so after that you check while counter less than 4. So 2 now, is it true less than 4? Yes, 2 is less than 4. So we will perform the looping again. So you will do see out oopsie. So you will have the second oopsie on the screen. Then counter plus plus. Just now you have 2. 2 plus 1 become 3. So you check here. Is it 3 less than 4? Yes, it's true. 3 less than 4. So we'll perform the looping again. See out oopsie. So you will get the third oopsie on the screen. Then counter plus plus. 3 plus 1 become 4. We check. Is it 4 less than 4? No. 4 is equal to 4, not less than 4. So the condition now here is not true. So we do not perform the looping. We exit from the looping. So meaning here you have 3 times or uh, three times of word oopsie on the screen. Okay, oopsie, and then you have oopsie. 3 word of oopsie on the screen. So this is the example how to use the do while in the program. So uh, if you see here, okay, if you check, okay, you check in detail. Okay, what is the difference between the do while statement and then while and for statement? We have do while. Okay, let's say here we have while. Okay, we have for, and then now we have do while. Can you tell me what is the difference between the do while and for and while statement? Okay, if you check here, for the while and for statement, we check the condition before we perform the looping, right? So you have to check the condition here, while counter less than 4, counter less than 4. So we check the condition first before we perform the looping. But for the do while statement, if you see here, we check our condition after we perform the looping. We check our condition at the end of our looping. So when you use do while, you have to perform at least once loop. Why I said like that? Okay, either your condition is true or not true. Okay, you have to perform at least once, because we check the condition at the end of our looping. Okay, so we have while and for. We call it pre-test loop, as we test the condition, or we check the condition first before we execute the statement or we perform the looping. While, okay, we have the do while. We call it post-test loop, as we test the condition at last after we perform the looping or execute the statement. So that is the difference between the while, for, and then do while. Okay, so now when you want, where should you put the while statement in the program? Now you know the how to use the while, you know how to use the for, and then do while. So now if you want to perform your looping, so when you should put, or where you should put your statement in your program? Okay, okay, make sure, okay, if you have the program, you write the program. Okay, you make sure you check which statement you want to loop, you want the statement to be repeated, then you put the statement while or for or do one. Okay, that is a hint where to put or where should we put the while statement in our program at the end, at the statement that we want it to be repeated. Okay, so in this case, okay, the example that we have just now, what statement you want to repeat, you want to be the output on the screen, the statement is oopsie. That's why I put the oopsie between the open and close brace for the do statement. Yeah, okay, that is the hint. Okay, now we want to move to the type of CV. Okay, you know what is the meaning of CV already, our control variable. We have several type of CV. We have the counter and then we have the signal. We are going to see into detail this counter and signal after this. Okay, so counter meaning can count how many times the looping is loop, is repeat or is loop. Signal, okay, you have the signal, you have the counter and signal. Signal can be flag or sentinel. Okay, if you use the flag signal, we can use the yes or no, and if you use the sentinel signal, we can use the negative value to stop the looping. So after this we are going to see into detail about this CV. Okay, now we want to see the difference between the counter CV and signal CV. Okay, so when you want to use the counter CV and when you want to use the signal CV. Okay, the first one, counter CV. We have done the counter CV before this. Okay, if you notice that a lot of example that I've given to you, we use the counter CV. Okay, so we have the example here, the counter CV. Okay, we have void main and then we have integer counter equal to 1, while counter less than 4, C out of C, and then counter plus plus. Okay, in this example, the name of our counter CV is counter. Okay, so you can use other name. Okay, let's say you want to use student as your counter CV. So integer student equal to 1, while student less than 4, C out UPSI, and then student plus plus. So your counter CV, your counter name, okay, become student in this example. Okay, so make sure if you change to the student at the top here, so in the condition you have to change, and then the increment also you have to change to the student, so we know how many times the looping will repeat, so we use the counter CV. But okay, sometimes you do not know, we are not sure how many times we have to repeat the looping, right? So in this case you cannot use the counter CV, you have to use the signal CV. So in order to use the signal CV, you can use the flag signal or sentinel signal. Okay, so we see the example in order to understand the between the flag, what is the difference between the what is the difference between the flag and sentinel. So we see the first flag here. Okay, we have the void main and then we have the name of our CV here, response. Okay, response, and then we assign the initial value of response equal to capital Y. Okay, and then the response, the data type for the response is char, meaning here response equal to Y, capital Y, and then the data type is char. Okay, now Y response equal to capital Y or response equal to small y. Okay, so what we want to perform, okay, we want to perform C out UPSI. Okay, UPSI. So now the response, the initial value of response is capital Y, so is true, response equal to Y. So we'll perform this we will perform this looping. Okay, C out of C, so you will have the word C on the screen, and then C out, enter your response. When we have enter your response here, the cursor will blinking here, the cursor will will wait the response from the user. So it depends to the user to key in the value or the character. What is the character that the user want to key in, so the user can key in here. Let's say here, when the user see in response, the user type capital Y. So Y response equal to Y. Okay, yes, true. We have the Y here. The user type Y. Okay, so C out, C again. Okay, suddenly enter your response. Okay, suddenly we type N. Okay, so we check here. Response equal to Y. No, we type N. So we will exit from this looping. So C in response here depends to the user. If the users still want to perform this looping, okay, so they have to they have to key in either capital Y or small y. Other than this this character, okay, the looping will exit, will stop. Okay, so that is the flag signal. Okay, now the second one, we have the sentinel signal. Okay, the sentinel signal, we use the response again here. Okay, the CV name here is response, but the data type for the CV is integer. So we give the initial value to response equal to 0 because this is integer. So now we have y response not equal to minus 999. So in this sentinel, we use the minus number to stop our looping. Y response not equal to this number, so y response not equal to this number, any number, minus 9, minus 999 or minus 100, okay, we will perform this looping. C out, UPSI, and then enter the response. So the cursor will blinking, waiting for the response from the user. Let's say the user see in other than this minus number, let's say 100. So will be repeat again. C out, C. Okay, enter the response. C in response. Suddenly we type or respond the response 100. Okay, 100. So still looping. Okay, and then enter the response. And then here I type minus 999. So the looping will stop because now response equal to minus 999. Okay, so the looping will stop. Okay, so this is the different. Okay, if you see here in our condition in the bracket, for flag signal we use equal to, but for sentinel not equal to. And then for the flag we use char. Okay, and then the sentinel we use the integer for the data type. So that is the difference between the flag and sentinel. Okay, so okay, now, okay, you have seen the while statement, for statement, and do while statement. So let's say you have the problem. Okay, so in when you read the problem, when should you use the while statement? When should you use the do while or for statement? Okay, so you have to decide. Okay, when you read the problem and then you have to understand the problem, then you have to decide which statement do you want to use. So if you are sure, okay, or you know how many times the looping will repeat, when you read the question, you get the clue, you get the idea. Okay, and then you get the idea, you will use the counter CV. Okay, so you can use for or while statement. Okay, for our statement. But okay, when you read the problem or any problem or any exercise, okay, you are not sure how many times the looping will repeat. Depends to the user. Okay, and then it seems that the question need us to use the signal CV. Okay, so in this case you have to use while or do while. Okay, so if you notice here, while can be used in both situations. Either you know or you do not know how many times the looping will repeat. Yeah? So it depends to the question when to use while with the counter CV, when to use while with the signal CV. Okay, so I think that's all for while, for while. Okay, and then do while, and then while statement. Okay, so I have the question, three question here. Okay, so you can try the question later. Okay, but for the second question, okay, I think I have to discuss first. Okay, so you get the idea how to solve the rest of the problem. Okay, so let us discuss for the second question first, right here. So the question here, calculate an average of three numbers that are entered by the user through a keyboard. Okay, so if you see this question, okay, if you read this question, so okay, so this question ask ask us to use the while statement and then for statement. So in order to solve this problem, you have to use while statement and then the second one for statement. Okay, now I've discussed first the answer for this question, so you get the idea, then you can solve another question. Okay, so in this case, um, I solve here I use the for statement. Okay, so I have the include outstream node age void main open brace and then close brace for main. Yeah, okay, so I use the for statement. Okay, for integer counter equal to 1, counter less than 3, counter plus plus. Okay, see out, enter the numbers. Okay, see in number. So you have to see in the number. Let's say you see in the first number 1. Yeah, number 1. So total become to total plus 1. Total plus number. Okay, let's say you do not know, okay, what is the total now. So you have to assign the total equal to 0 first at the top here. And then number also you have to declare as integer. Total number integer. But total you have to assign to 0 first. Because we want to calculate, we want to we want to we want to add the total with the number that we enter, right? So now we have total equal to total plus number. So if your total, the initial value of total 0, let's say you see in the first number here 1, so 0 plus 1, you get the total now 1. Okay, so 1, and then we check counter plus plus. Now counter counter plus 1, so 1 plus 1 by 2, we have 2 here. You check here, 2 less than 3, yes, so we have to enter again the number. Let's say now you enter the second number 2, so total equal to, just now we have total 1 plus 2, you get the total now is 3, and then plus again. Okay, we have the counter 2 plus 1, you get 3, 3 still equal to 3, not less but equal to 3. So we will perform the looping again. See out, enter the number. Okay, you enter the third number, let's say 3. So now just now you have total equal to 3, so total equal to 3 plus 3, so you get 6 here. Then counter plus 1, 3 plus 1, you get 4, 4 not less than 3 and then not equal to 3. So we will exit from this looping, and then we have to read the statement after the brace here. Average equal to total divided by 3. So you get the total just now 6. Okay, all together 6 divided by 3, you get 2. So see out, the average of the numbers is 2. Okay, so this is the solution for the second question. Okay, so you have to remember, but I use 4 in this case. Okay, so you have to remember here, you have to declare number, total and average. The data type is integer. Okay, but you can use let's say you want to use float, you can try later. You can try after this. Okay, so this is the solution for the second question. Okay, so you can try to solve the second question, but use the while statement. You have to use the while statement for the second question. Okay, use for and then while, but for here I have solved already, so try to use while. Okay, so I think you get the idea how to solve the problem. Okay, you can try number 3 and then the number 1 also, for your exercises, right? Okay, so I think that's all for today about our repetition. Okay, so you can try the question, the rest of the question later, and then if you have any problem or any question regarding the number 1 and number 3, you can WhatsApp me, or you can ask me later using the my guru, right? Okay, that's all for today. Okay, thank you.